Hey everyone, thanks for joining me at the Humble Pigeon. This is a 60-minute yoga session that we recorded live on my roof, live streaming. We'll be focusing on cooling off the Pitta dosha and the body from the summer sun. So join me on the mat. We haven't done a Tuesday practice in a while, so it's good to be back. This practice is focused on the dosha of Pitta from Ayurveda, which is a sister science for yoga. It focuses on the health, where yoga is the spirituality and the mind's part. And dosha translates to spoiled. So a body is compiled of 3 different doshas, and when one becomes imbalanced, it can manifest in harmful ways in our body. Ayurveda also works with the seasons. So in this season, it's Pitta, generating heat. And so we'll work through the practice to just balance this dosha, cool the mind, cool the body. Yes. Okay. So close your eyes here. And place your hands on your knees or in your lap. Or if you'd like to do a mudra for Pitta, you can place your palms together, curl them in, and just leave the ring and pinky extended, resting your forearms on your navel. Lift up through the spine, one long channel from hips to crown. And meditation is normally done with the eyes closed, but you can stare softly at a point in front of you. And we'll take one deep breath to initiate this space. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Just allow your breath to happen. Allow yourself to be breathed. Allow the thoughts to just pass through your mind. We're not trying to control anything. And bring your attention to the navel. These areas of fire from Pitta usually impact the intestines and liver. And start to lengthen your exhale. A little bit longer than your inhale. Just cooling the body. And if your hand is in the mudra, know that it's not a magic power. It's just a conscious intention. We're just using our mind to direct it towards the effort of cooling and balancing Pitta. And you can release the hands, open the eyes, and we'll start standing. Standing at the top of your mat. Hey everyone. Hands by your side. Tadasana. Lift the arms up overhead, Urdhva. And then exhale, forward fold all the way down. And we're just going to hang here for a moment in this restorative version of Uttanasana. And if you'd like to hold the opposite elbows and sort of sway here, we're just thinking about bringing the energy down back into the ground, feeling the backs of the legs. And when we work with Pitta, qualities of Pitta usually are intensity, sometimes aggravation, increased anger. And so we want to work in this practice of just moving a little bit less, not really going completely to our edge, just letting go a bit, So we'll blend in some restorative with some movement. Take one big inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, forward, halfway lift, hands on your shins, and then step the right foot back into a runner's lunge. Breathe here for a moment, and then step the left foot back, downward facing dog. Come all the way forward onto plank, and then knees, chest, chin, all the way down to the mat. Step your hands a little bit forward and come onto your forearms, and bring the feet to touch. Lift the navel up off the mat and hold here just for a moment, pulling the elbows toward each other without moving them, feeling the heat generate in the core. And then release, curl the spine up, allowing the tailbone to fall heavy, Bhujangasana. And then we'll press back into downward facing dog one more time. Just feeling how our body feels here for a moment. And then look forward and step or jump all the way back into Uttanasana. Hanging here for a moment, swaying if you like, feeling how the backs of the legs maybe are a bit more open. And then looking forward and reaching up, coming up to standing, arms up overhead, hands by your side. This time place the palms facing behind you, and we're going to reach the arms up in front and then reach back behind us. Taking a breath here in this nice back bend, exhaling all the air out, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step the left foot back, runner's lunge. Look forward, take a breath here. Step back into downward facing dog. Fingers spread wide, engaging the tops of the thighs. Maybe closing the eyes here for a moment, feeling the entire body. Looking forward, coming back, coming to plank pose. And then knees, chest, chin, slowly come down. And just pause here for a moment, feeling your chin on the mat. And then curling forward into an upward facing dog or Bhujangasana. And then coming back down to the mat, onto your forearms. Squeeze the forearms toward each other as you lift the navel up, feeling the entire front body fire up. And then hold here for a moment. We really want to move into our edge, but once we get there, back off just a little bit. And exhale, release. We'll push back into downward facing dog. Look forward, step or jump to Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms up by your side, all the way up to standing. And then exhale, back to mountain pose. Point your palms beside you, and like you're gonna lift up a nice sheet, fanning someone. Lift your arms up, exhale, back bend. And then bring the energy all the way back down as you forward fold. Halfway lift. And then step back into runner's lunge with the right leg. Breathe here for a minute. Feeling how the legs feel as the feet push heavy into the mat. And then plant your right hand onto the mat. Point both toes to the left. So you're in this Vashisthasana variation, and lift the left arm up towards the sky. Open the chest up. Take a big inhale. Feel the space you're creating in the abdomen and the chest. And then on your exhale, bring the hand back down. That back foot, the heel comes down, Parsvarkanasana, side angle pose. Left arm, right arm sweeps up over the head. Feel the hips open. And again, we're just moving through the motions. We're not putting in a really intense amount of effort, not too much anatomical cues here. And bring the right hand down to the mat. And then step back into downward facing dog. And then look forward. Step the feet to the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Hold. Stay here for a moment. Really move the sit bones away from the heels as the heels move away from the sit bones. Let the head hang heavy. And then with the weight in your feet, come up to standing, reaching the arms out to the side. Hands meet above the head, and then come back down to mountain pose. Again, palms behind us, lift the arms up to the sky to a back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. This time the left leg steps back to runner's lunge. Take a few breaths here, really pulling the thighs into one of another. And then we'll plant that left hand down and rotate the feet towards the right. So you're in a Vashisthasana variation. Right arm comes up to the sky, and then it moves back towards the back of the room. Maybe your gaze goes up to the sky. Lift up through the hips. And just feel this nice stretch along the left side of the body, putting up the chest, the abdomen, twisting out some of this fire. And then right hand comes to the mat. The feet point back at the front of the room. The left heel comes down to the mat. Left arm swoops up overhead. Bicep right next to your ear, Parsvakonasana, side angle pose. And if you'd like to, at this point, you can take a block here to prop yourself up, or an elbow to the thigh. Hand comes back down. Step back into downward facing dog. Look forward, step forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, bending your knees as much as you need to bring your hands to the floor. Or if you just want to feel some compression in the abdomen, you can do that too. This is our restorative relaxation position for today. Allow the feet to be heavy as you come to standing, reaching the arms out by your side. And then exhaling all the air out, mountain pose. Inhale, arms up overhead. We'll flow through now. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, right leg steps back, runner's lunge. Take one breath here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, rotate the feet to the left. Open up into that Vashisthasana variation. Take one breath here. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale, rotate the feet towards the front of the mat. The left hand comes down. Parsvakonasana, side angle. Grab your block if you want it. Or the elbow can come to the thigh. And then take a breath here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and then exhale that right hand down to the mat. Step back into downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward, step forward, halfway lift. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, the arms up by your side, come up to standing. Exhale, mountain pose. Palms face the back of the room. Inhale, the arms up wide, back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, left foot steps back into runner's lunge. One breath here. Exhale, the feet move to the left. Open up into that Vashisthasana variation. Lifting up through the hips, opening the collarbone. Exhale, the hands back down, the feet rotate towards the front. Parsvakonasana, side angle pose. Opening the left and right ribs. Exhale, the hand comes down. Step back into downward facing dog. Look forward, step the feet or jump them to the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Uttanasana. Grab the opposite elbow and just hang here for a moment. Press down through the middles of the heels. Feel the back of the legs engage. And think about moving your groins towards the back of the room. Allow the back to relax. Allow the head to hang. And then hands down onto the mat or down on your legs. And then inhale, come up to standing. Exhale, Tadasana. One more flow. Inhale, the arms up to the side. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, right foot steps back into runner's lunge. And this time we drop that right knee to the mat. Tone the belly in. Lift the arms up overhead into Anjaneyasana. Soften the ribs. Soften the gaze. And then lift that back leg up, crescent pose. Feel the energy that you're creating through the legs, all the way up through the fingertips. And then we'll bring the hands back down. Did I want to do that? Yes. Runner's lunge. Oh, yeah. So come down into runner's lunge. And then we're going to take our left hand, place it on the diagonal of the mat. Shift your weight forward, Ardha Chandrasana. Back leg lifts. Your hand can be on your hip. And then you can open the hip up to the right. Or you can place your left hand on a block. Boop. If that works better for you. Really tone the left leg and push out through the right heel. We open in this cooling pose. And then place both hands down to frame the foot. Square the hips and then lift up more through the right leg. Half standing splits. Bend the right knee, bring it into the chest, and then come up to standing. Whoop. Balance challenge here. Pull the right knee more into the chest. Spreading the left toes, we're going to go into warrior 3 by pushing back through the right heel. Arms can be at your side like an airplane, at your heart, or reaching forward. Oops. Step the right foot back. You're back in crescent. Drop the right knee, hands come down at your heart, and then bring the right elbow to the left knee. Twist up towards the sky. Left elbow points up to the sky. Think about the abdomen turning into the left knee, the left thigh. And then untwisting. Hands come down by your side. And with that right foot, step it up to the left. And we'll hang here in Uttanasana. Either your chest on your thighs, grabbing each other's elbow, or your hands back down on the mat. And then taking a big inhale, feet are heavy, lifting up, come up to standing, hands meet above the head, and then frame the midline. Bring the hands at heart center, opening up to mountain pose Tadasana. All right, Vinyasa. Inhale the arms up overhead, back bend. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, the left foot steps back into runner's lunge. Drop that left knee, tone the belly, pull the feet into one another, and lift the arms up overhead. Breathing here, maybe closing the eyes for a moment. And then lifting that back knee up, straightening the leg, crescent pose. Pull both feet into one another without moving them. Move that left hip forward as the right hip comes back. Soften the gaze. See if you can do a little bit less here, even though we're doing a lot in the legs. And then exhale the arms to frame the foot. Runner's lunge. Ardha Chandrasana. We're going to step that right hand to the diagonal of our mat, or you can grab your block. And then move your weight into your right foot is you lift the back leg up, straightening the right knee, and then opening up to the left. Gaze can be soft and at the floor or the sky. Lift the right kneecap and press out through the left heel, opening the chest more, thinking about the collarbone expanding, thinking about one line from left fingertips to right fingertips. And then we'll square the hips, bring the hand out in front of us and back down to the mat, lifting the left foot even more, standing split. And then bending the left knee into the chest, we'll come up to standing. Woo. And maybe we lose our balance. We just get back up, spread the toes, tone the right leg, and then we're gonna move the heel behind us into warrior three. Hands at the heart, out like an airplane, or right in front of you. Lift up through the right knee, push out through the left, and then bring that left foot back to the mat, arms up overhead, your back in crescent. Bring the left knee to the mat, exhale the arms back down to the mat, step back into downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. Maybe you come down to your knees in child's pose. We'll be here for 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then look forward. Take a big inhale, and then exhale, step the feet forward. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold. And this time, heel toe the feet out about hip width. We've done a lot of forward bends, so it's time for some Padangusthasana. So I'd like you to grab your toes. You can grab your tie or your strap and wrap that underneath your feet if you're having a hard time grabbing your toes. All right, I just imagine everyone's caught up. And then we want to inhale, lift forward, just like you're in halfway lift. And then exhale, hinge at the hips. Bring the chest towards the thighs, and bring the thighs towards the chest. The elbows open up to the side. And feel this nice cooling effect this has on the abdomen as the upper body can completely relax here if you allow it. So just bring that intention to relaxing the back, relaxing the neck. And then we'll release the toes, heel toe the feet back together. We'll halfway lift one more time, feeling that opening in the spine. And then exhale, release. Inhale the arms out to the side, come all the way up. Exhale, release. Bring your hands at heart center. Close your eyes here for a moment. Just feeling some of the energy that you've created in your body through the practice. And then open your eyes, Tadasana. Inhale the arms up, overhead and back bend. Exhale all the air out, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, this time step both feet back. Plank pose. Hold your plank here for a moment. If you don't like this on your wrists, come on down to your forearms. We're going to be here for about 20 seconds. So spread the fingers wide and pull the elbows toward each other without moving them, whether you're on forearms or hands. And then move the shoulders away from the ears. And feel the shakes of the belly. So we allow the heat to purify, to undo any toxins that may be accumulating in our body. Just breathing here. And then you have the option to come down on your knees or chaturanga. So we'll take that now, taking an inhale and then exhaling all the way down. Coming onto your forearms. 8-point plank once more, again for 20 seconds here. So spread the fingers wide without moving the forearms. Pull them toward each other. Push the feet together so the big toes are touching. And push the tops of the feet in the mat. You'll feel the tops of the legs engage. And then we want to lift the navel up. Almost like you're curling up like a little half moon, scooping it out. And then holding it here. Breathing in and maybe exhaling out a little bit longer than you inhale. Challenging. Few more seconds here. And then release the navel down. Maybe scoot the elbows back a little bit more. Reset the feet, and then start to curl the chest up, Bhujangasana variation. And if you'd like to, you can move the hands back and maybe straighten the elbows into a full back bend. Gazing past the nose, just feeling the length in the spine, all the opening we did from our forward bends. And then coming back down here. Come all the way down, and the hands will come out right next to your hips, palms facing down, forehead into the mat. Press the toes into one another. Press the ankles into one another, and then lift the hands up, curling the chest up, looking forward, feeling the entire back engage. Now lift the legs up as one unit. Really imagining the ankles sucking into one another. Feeling the tops of the legs tone, maybe shake. Maybe you lift up a little bit more. And then release. Place your hand place your head on the mat. And cradling it, just relaxing, allowing the feet to splay out. Me closing the eyes here. And then one more time. Well, that's not true. We'll probably do 2 more times. All right. Let's come back up to our plank. So come up onto all fours and either forearm or plank. Straighten the legs out behind you. Look forward. Reach through the crown of the head and extend through the heels. And then hold here. Wrapping the triceps around the arms, toning the upper legs, toning the belly, and thinking about the middle of the back and allowing that to support you. You can come down to your knees at any time. We'll hold more for 5, 4, 3, 2, 2.5, 1, and then come all the way down to the mat. Place the hands out in front of you, come onto your forearms, elbows under the shoulders, and then glide the feet toward one another, really toning the upper body, rolling the shoulders away from the ears, and pulling the navel up towards the spine, lifting the upper body here. So using different muscles than we use in the plank pose. So we can do this. Feel the lower ribs engaged. And start to slow the breath down if you can. To slow the mind down that's telling you maybe you can't do this. We'll hold for 5, for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Allow your head to come down into your hands. Just for a moment here, take a breath. And then come back up to your forearms, Bhujangasana, cobra pose. Bring the feet together. Start to curl the spine up, leaving the hips on the mat. Really tucking that tailbone in, and the tailbone is located like right at the top of your butt crack. So if you want to think about that, that's where your weight is. And then curl up through the crown of the head. A really great point to work with is that if you make this sound, that is your palate. So imagine lifting up through that part of the body. And maybe the hands come back, only if it feels okay. And then extend the back all the way. Gazing past the nose. Steadying the mind. Steadying the body. And then bringing the torso all the way down. Rest your hands, head in your hands, maybe looking at the opposite way this time. Relaxing the back, relaxing the abs. And then coming with the head on, place your forehead on the mat, your hands by your side, palms on the back of the mat. Bring the feet together, squeeze the ankles together, tone the upper body, and then start to reach up through the crown of the head and raise the body and the hands. Then lift the legs to follow. Move the shoulders away from the ears. And gaze past the nose as we work the entire back body. And one more breath, and then release. Allow the head to rest. And then look forward. We'll push back into child's pose just for a moment here. Knees are wide. If you don't like child's pose, you can come just up onto your knees and then stretch your hands out really wide. Allow the chest to fall forward. You can also place a bolster underneath you, whatever works for you. Allow the mind to cool. Allow it to be cool. And then we'll look forward. Come back up onto all fours. And bring yourself up to standing. Hang here for a moment. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale again in forward fold. Inhale the air all the way up as you come up to standing. And then exhale, hands by your side. And we're going to start some of the floor postures. So we'll bring ourselves down to the mat through a vinyasa. So inhale the arms up and out. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And this time step back into plank pose. Come all the way down to chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. And then exhale, roll back into downward facing dog. And then option to jump through or step your feet through, whatever you like to do, but find yourself on your seat. Into Dandasana. So legs straight out in front of you, feet together. This is a good time to grab your strap if you have it, or your tie. Hands by your hips. Move the shoulders away from the ears and allow the thighs to push into the mat. Again, pull the ankles in toward each other and then lift up through the crown of the head as the shoulders are going in the opposite direction. And we just breathe here for a moment, just feeling the entire body here, this angle. And at this point, grab your strap if you need it. And you can wrap it around your feet. And you want to inhale and lift up through the crown of the head. And then exhale, allow the chest to fall towards the thighs. For those who don't have the straps, if you want to grab your big toes or the outsides of the feet. We're just going to chill here for a little bit. Another wonderful practice for cooling areas of the body for Pitta This is massaging the internal organs, just allowing that area of the body to just chill. Just breathe. Focus on the breath. And then inhale to come up. And then if you have a strap, you'll grab the strap with your right hand. If you don't have a strap, we're going to take our right hand and grab our left foot. And you want to inhale the left arm up towards the sky. And then bend the left elbow and start to reach for the right foot, but don't quite grab it. And just go through this flow where you're sort of like going back and forth, kind of painting this arch with the elbow. Feeling how this affects the side of the right side. And maybe, just maybe, you start to reach for the left foot, the right foot, and twist the navel open to the left. Breathing, enjoying this nice opening on the right side. Maybe twisting open a little bit more with each inhale. And then release. Bring your hands back down to your side. Move your strap out of the way. We're going to go through a vinyasa. So curl the feet up. Step the hands in front of you. Step back into plank pose. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Look forward and then jump or step to seated. Extend the feet out in front of you. Hands by your side. Grab your strap if you need it. Dandasana. And inhale, grab the strap. Wrap it around the feet. Inhale, extend through the spine. And then exhale, forward fold. Maybe this time you fall a little bit further. Either grabbing the sides of the feet, maybe the wrist. Maybe just playing with one and seeing which one feels like it's a bit more intense. And then we'll come up. We'll lift that left arm up and grab the right foot. The right arm comes up towards the sky and the elbow bends. And we'll start this arcing flow where we sort of reach the hand for the foot, but we don't quite meet it. We don't quite grab it. We're just like, It's almost like you're trying. If you try, you can't get it. Start to synchronize this with your breath. Think about opening the right side of the body. Think about the left side of the body. And then at some point, grabbing that left foot with the right hand. And then curling and twisting open to the right. Allow the neck to relax. Allow yourself to just fall into this posture, massaging the internal organs, stretching out the back, the arms. And just breathing here. And then we'll take that right hand up overhead. And release the left hand. And move your strap out of your way. Place your hands by your side. Scoot your feet back. Hands come forward and step back into plank pose. Hold here for a minute. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, upward facing dog. Oh, did I say exhale, downward facing dog? All right, the real downward facing dog right now. And then inhale, jump or step your feet all the way through. Janushirasana. Left leg stays extended. Take your right foot and the heel is kind of nestled into the right inner thigh. The left ball of the foot, right ball of the foot's in the left inner thigh. Handy strap if you need it, but otherwise we're gonna lift up through the crown of the head, and then using the lower ribs, reach for the foot. With each inhale, you can extend further. With each exhale, you fall back down. The right hip's in an outer external rotation. And if the knee is up a little bit high, you can place a block underneath the knee. But otherwise, this left leg is doing a lot of the work. The thigh's pushing down. If you really want to push down the thigh, you can do that as well. But look past the toes. And then just breathe here. Again, this internal massage that's occurring. And then inhale, come up. You got it. We're going into a plank. Step back into plank. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Push back, downward facing dog. Look forward, step or jump into seated. Extend the right foot out. Take the left foot, bring it into the right thigh. Externally rotating this thigh, placing a block under the knee if you'd like to. If it's not close to the floor, a block is a great thing. And then moving the torso towards the right leg and extending the hands out to reach for the foot. And then allowing the body to just drape over that leg. My neck likes to really tense up here, so just, if you're like me, just intentionally think about relaxing the neck. Spread the toes and steady the gaze. And then inhale to come up. Plank pose. Step the feet back. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Push back, downward facing dog. And then look forward and jump to a seat. Virajasana variation. Keep the left leg extended. We'll bring the right foot to the outside of the right hip. Grab your strap or your tie. And here are your options. So it depends on how you feel, but this left leg is really engaged. The heel is pushing into the mat. You're going to inhale and then reach the arms forward. And maybe this is where you stay. This is fine. Widen the collarbones. Second option is you grab your strap and with your right hand, reach the right hand around, and either you grab the left hand or the strap. Whatever you're doing here, you want to make sure that the collarbone's wide. And then reach the chin forward, round the back. This is massaging the right internal organs, so that connection between the thigh and the chest is super important here. And we're not trying to force anything. If this bind doesn't work for you, then it's just not supposed to work for you right now. And that's totally fine. It's really about this massage of the internal organs. And then release. We'll go into plank pose. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Look forward and jump. Virajasana, second side. Right leg's extended. The left heel is on the left outer hip. And so the shoulder's on the inside of the knee. Strap is handy. And we're going to inhale, lift up. Feel the length of the spine. And then look past the toes and reach forward. Again, this is a great place to be. Otherwise, you can grab the strap with your left hand and reach around towards your back and take the right arm and either grab the hands or you can grab the strap. Just look forward and see if you can lengthen your exhale. Maybe exhaling out of the mouth, letting some of the heat go. widening the collarbones, and then releasing the bind. One more vinyasa. Come onto your plank, step back, lower to chaturanga, inhale to upward facing dog, and then exhale, downward facing dog. And then look forward, and then we'll jump to the top of our mat and come to a seat. We're going to move on to Sharvangasana. So the option you have here, Sharvangasana is shoulder stands, but we're going to do a variation of it that's a bit more restorative. If you do shoulder stand and you want to do it without the wall, you don't need to. So find a wall, and I will give you a lot of cues so you don't have to look at me, and you can do the practice. So if you have a blanket, this would be handy, but you don't need a blanket in case you don't have one. So prop your blanket up against the wall, and we're just going to scoot our bums up towards the wall and extend our legs up towards the sky, laying on our back. Your hands are by your hips. You're kind of in an A-frame here. So this is option one. You could stay right here like this. Option two, if you're on the wall and you want to come up into a more like a full shoulder stand, a really safe way to do that is you're going to bend your knees and press your feet into the wall. And then you're going to lift your hips up. Your hands come to cradle your back. So it's almost like they're little cups. And you bring your elbows in a little bit closer so they're in line with your shoulders. If this feels okay for you, if this feels okay with your neck and your chin's pointed up, you could start to lengthen one leg at a time into the sky. So the feet are flexed, the belly's toned. We're allowing the blood to flow back down the body. Close the eyes here. And just focus on your breath. The inhale and the exhale. Imagining a nice, cool breeze just falling upon you. And then if you're up in your shoulder stand, you can start to bend one knee at a time and bring the foot back to the wall. And when both feet are on the wall, let go of the hips with the hands and let the hips come back down to the mat, extending the legs. We'll move into a twist by taking both legs over to the right. So we're still nestled up against the wall. We just have both legs extended to the right. Our hands are still out in that A-frame. We're twisting the torso. And we're feeling the lower back. Maybe settling our attention here. Allowing it to relax and release. Allow the breath to slow down. And truly allow to lengthen that exhalation. And then we'll bend the knees and bring the legs back up against the wall. Extend them up against the wall like we had them before. And then we'll lower the legs over to the left. one foot on top of the other. Arms extended by your side. The head can roll to the left if you want a little bit more intensity. But since this is a cooling practice, maybe you want to keep it actually on the left. The right would be a little bit more intense. Just noticing where you feel this in your body. Lengthening the exhale, cooling off the body. Letting the lower back release, letting it relax. Then bending the knees. And then bringing the feet back up to the wall. So we're back in our first position. Sitting here for a moment. And then we'll bend the knees again and fall over to our right side. Placing our hands on the mat and pushing ourselves up. And we'll do a couple rounds of headstands. So if you've never done headstand before, and you can use your wall for this as well, I'd like you to do a dolphin pose. So a dolphin pose is your knees are bent. You're on your forearms, fingers are wide. Tuck the toes, and then extend the hips up. Your elbows are over your shoulders, and then your head just relaxes as you gaze past the feet or towards the navel. And you can start to move the shoulders a bit more towards the hands or walk the feet forward to whatever intensity that you really like here. For my headstanders, move all your stuff out of the way. And you can use a wall if you'd like to, just for fear factors. Where you're going to interlace your hands, place them on your mat. And so your elbows should be about, sorry, I'm not facing you. Your elbows should be about a forearm's width apart. So you can grab your elbow, then interlace the hands, and that's the position you want to be in. Roll the shoulders away from the ears and place the crown of the head in between the hands. And straighten the legs. And then you can stay right here, coming up onto your toes. Or you can lift up into a full shoulder stand. And we're just going to remain here breathing. And then coming back up, we want to stay here for 1, for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Come back down onto your knees. Wherever you're at, press yourself back into child's pose. Allow the breath to return back to normal. And then come back up onto all fours. And then lay on your backs to prepare for Shavasana. If you have an eye mask or an eye pillow and you want to place that over your eyes, you can do that. Otherwise, I will see you there. So extend the legs out wide, the arms out by your sides, and roll the shoulders up towards the ears and then back away, feeling them a bit more pressed against the back of the mat. And make some fists in your hands to tense the arms up and then release everything. And then intensify the legs by engaging all of the muscles of the legs the glutes, the thighs, and then releasing. And if you haven't already, close the eyes. We'll briefly scan the body. Starting with the toes. Allow the tips of the toes to relax. Allow the ankles to relax. Allow the knees and kneecaps to relax. Allow the thighs and quadriceps to soften. Allow the navel and hips to relax. Allow the ribs, the collarbone, the points of the shoulders to fall heavy. Soften. Allow the arms to relax. Soften the jaw, the tip of the nose. Relax the point between the eyebrows. Relax the entire face. Relax everything between the ears and behind the eyes. Let the back of the head be heavy. Let the entire body be heavy. Start to wiggle the toes and fingers. Start to bring your attention back to the entire body. And slowly roll over to one side, curling the knees up towards the chest, resting the hands underneath the head. Slowly pushing yourself up to a seated position. And I'm closing the eyes here. Placing the hands on your knees, palms facing down. We'll end with some cooling breaths, pursing the lips, like as if you were going to suck through a straw. And inhale through the mouth. Close the mouth. Exhale through the nose. Continue this breath, inhaling. Feeling the coolness come through your lips, around the mouth, and down through the lungs. Cooling the mind, cooling the body. And one more time here. And then bring your hands at heart center, sealing in the benefits of the practice. And if you'd like to do one silent Om, you may inhale now for Om. And then release the hands, open the eyes. I hope you feel a bit more chill, cool. Hope your abs got a little bit of work and that your internal organs are nice and massaged. Thanks for coming. We'll all have to log our Be Well hours. This is definitely different teaching up on the roof. Let me see who's, oh hey, so cool to see everyone. Hey Taylor, Julia, Sharath, Samira, Fiona, nice.